Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Startup Soirée podcast. This is your host, Patrick Reif. I hope the July heat is treating you well. Anybody in the Baltimore area, hope that the weekend fun at Artscape was incredible. Got to see and support a lot of the amazing creative things going on in our fair city. And for you soccer fans that were down at M&T, go USA. We missed you last week. We're back again this week. This summer we may do a little every other week to take it easy. But I'm excited to say that we're not slacking when we bring the episodes. Today we have Cory Myers from Baggio on the show. Baggio is an inventive and intuitive mobile bag system that's coming out of the ETC here in Baltimore. These guys have been working for at least a year on this project. I had the distinct pleasure of meeting them last summer at another Baltimore tech event. So before I get too far, Cory, welcome to the Startup Soirée podcast.
Thank you so much, Patrick, and thanks for all of your support.
So, Cory, before we get into the nuts and bolts, please give our listeners a little bit of background about you and then a little bit of background about Baggio.
Okay, sure. Again, thanks so much, Patrick. Thanks so much for all the support you give for local startups and Startup Soirée. It's a great movement. I'm happy to be part of it. So regarding me, I am a native Baltimorean, born and raised. Went to elementary, middle, and high school here, as well as I actually have an engineering degree from Morgan State University. And currently my day job is I am an IP attorney, so I sue companies and about patents and trademarks and copyrights and things like that. So a lot of fun. My co-founder and beautiful wife, Tonika, is also a native Baltimorean. We actually met in middle school at Roland Park Middle School, so go figure. No, we haven't been dating since middle school, but we did start dating in college. She's great. With respect to Baggio is a smart bag technology company. We have developed a smart bag that is designed to alert users or owners of missing or low quantity items within their bag. So we are starting in a baby bag, diaper bag space. So think of a diaper bag that, as you're running out the house, can very coolly send a message to your phone that you have forgotten diapers or wipes or change of clothes or any of those items. Interestingly enough, this concept grew out of the fact that Tonika and I are the parents of three wonderful kids. We have an 18-year-old that's off to college next year at Temple University. We have an 8-year-old that is all things sports and a great student himself. And we have a 3-year-old daughter that's just the queen of the world. Most recently with our 3-year-old, well, when she was around less than 1, we went off to a family wedding event. And, we grabbed a diaper bag when we were leaving out the house. Got there on time. Everything was ready to go. Wedding was just starting, and then lo and behold, my daughter, whose name is Cory as well, had an occasion where she needed a diaper change. And when she did, we said, "Oh, no problem." Grabbed the diaper bag, went to the bathroom, and alas, there were no diapers, nor wipes. So that was just a great moment. So we literally had to hose it down, throw away all our clothes, go to Target, and OEM all of the way. So we literally came home that night and started looking to see if there were any solutions out there. And there just wasn't, frankly, on the market. So we literally, our first sketches were drawn literally that night. And from there, about 2.5 years later, here we are. We started Baggio officially in June of 2014, and we have a prototype, and we're off to the races.
All right. That's a incredible synopsis there. So you said the prototype was ready to go last month?
Yeah, well, actually, we finished up the prototype in August. We are one of the winners of the 2015 Accelerate Baltimore competition, and the prototype was ready for the Accelerate Baltimore, which is run through ETC Baltimore. Shout out to Deb Tillett and the crew. The prototype was ready for demo day, which took place on April 29th of 2015.
Shout out to Deb Tillett. I feel you. I feel you on that one. Shout out to Jackie Albright too.
Yeah.
Shout out to my News Up homies.
Andrew and Coleman, they're awesome.
ETCers. Shout out to who's my past ETC alumni on here. Shout out to Yair for sure. Great. So my next question is, when was that wedding? It was a wedding, right? You said wedding. I hope that I wasn't a poor
It was
listener
a wedding.
There. It was a wedding. When was the wedding?
The wedding took place in I think 2013, early 2013, late 2012.
Late 2012, early 2013. So it took you about 2 years or so to get from concept to be ready to roll out your actual physical.
Yeah, we wrote the concept down, and actually we sat on is the wrong word, but we had a number of family things going on that just kind of took us away from really pursuing it. But,
sure, like a pooping baby. I get it.
Yeah, how about that?
I get it.
But after that, we decided to do it really in earnest in kind of December 2013, January 2014, and we incorporated in June of 2014.
Awesome, man. That's great. So, there's a million ways that I could go, but I figure I'm just going to keep pulling out the more unique spots. So, give us a little bit of the backstory on what your prototyping and development process was for your actual physical product.
Sure. That is that's a lesson in perseverance, actually. As I mentioned, I'm an IP attorney, so I'm very keen into filing patent applications and the whole nine. So I drafted our first patent application for Baggio, and I think we finished up the patent application in July, August timeframe, somewhere in that range of 2014, and we got it on file. And I literally just opened up the old Google machine and started looking for prototype developers. For context, one thing I would say is that there are a number of different types of prototype developers, particularly in the tech space where you're doing kind of the integration of software and hardware, which is kind of where Baggio is. It's a number of folks. A lot of folks would like you to have kind of CAD drawings and have it completely thought out all to the T, where they're literally just kind of putting it together. And then there are the kind of back of the envelope or sketch guides that literally kind of bring your product to life. We found someone locally. We live out in the Howard County area, and we found someone in the Howard County area initially and had a number of conversations and things, but at the end of the day, that guy just was not. That company just was not giving Baggio any love, and just didn't believe in the vision, and just didn't make time and make Baggio a priority. So we went back to the drawing board, and we actually looked up and found a company. After about 5 or 6 additional companies, we found another company called Team Design, which is located in the Pennsylvania area. The owner, shout out to Chris Toner, who's the owner of Team Design. He lives in Maryland. But at any rate, they when we went and presented the concept to them and showed them all of our sketches and drawings, and they got it from the beginning and were on board. And we worked out the particulars in terms of financials, but really worked out. Chris and Team Design crew has just been on board with Baggio and a tremendous support. We had a launch party a week ago for our Indiegogo campaign, which we'll get into in a bit. And Chris, the owner of Team Design, actually attended, and it's been a tremendous help. So he's fully on board, and those guys have been supporting Baggio since day one. So really excited about this.
Awesome. I feel you on prototyping being a long and arduous process. It's definitely something where one of the things that I always find so fascinating as Nick and I like barrel through our future with Pixelated, and we definitely this year we're trying more things and we're diversifying the conversation of our company in a million times greater way than we've done in previous years. And with every pivot, or not even a pivot, for us it's more of like an addition to our direction. There's skills and there are kind of intellectual assets that you have to get down and learn how to speak the vernacular of whatever the new industry that you're going into, so that way you're not asking them to dumb themselves down to speak caveman to you. So I can feel you about that. It's definitely like a give and take as it comes along, and finding a good manufacturer or a good developer that you can really get on the same page with is a priceless thing. And I think that what happens is it takes a little bit of time to settle into that kind of relationship, and have the cadence of your conversation make sense to each other and understand its priorities. So it's always really good to keep hunting, keep looking until you find that partner that you feel like is really taking your project for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So that brings you guys to now, and you've got your prototype and you're kind of ready to go. And now it's going to be about kind of rolling the concept out to the people to get support for it. So what is the plan for the company over the next 8 to 12 months?
Sure. So the plan over the company, big picture over the next 8 to 12 months, is to take the prototype and turn it into a product that is widely available, be it direct sales and retail. Not to get too much into the business strategy of it, but we have been seeking out and actually developing relationships with upscale boutiques in the Maryland, D.C., and Virginia area, and that has been going very well. We have a really great relationship with a boutique in Bethesda, Maryland, called Daisy Baby. Dana Evans is the owner, and she's been a champion of Baggio from day one. She also attended the launch party, and we're actually going to do an in-store at Daisy Baby in the not too distant future. So we're really excited about that. So again, the big picture is to take the prototype and turn it into a product. So the one of the key and important steps to that is that we have launched and are currently in the midst of a Indiegogo crowdfunding fundraising campaign. Please check us out, everyone in the audience, to check us out on Indiegogo. Just look up Baggio. That's Baggio. And what we're doing is we're actually doing pre-orders on the Baggio bag right now. And you can do that via Indiegogo, or you can just support us on Indiegogo. Nothing too small, and certainly nothing too large. So that is the plan. And then we see that once we build up an audience, an organic audience for the product, and we've gotten tremendous support. Over the past 6 months, we have run a marketing survey that has gotten tremendous feedback, and people have kind of given us ideas about features within the bag that they'd like to see, and we've also, we've just got a general sense that this is a product that people would like to see and want and would purchase, more importantly. So we've been excited about that. So the whole idea is to get as many eyeballs as possible on it. Doing things such as, again, thanks so much, Patrick, doing things such as podcasts here. We've been doing tech breakfast events and the various myriad of startups. So we're trying to get the word out and hopefully get as much support. And we're going to take our prototype into a very robust product so that people can use this on a daily basis that way. And we think that this is something that people would want.
So Let me see here. Let me look at the clock. I got a few more minutes. So tell me real quick, when you have a pretty niche product, I would anticipate, and feel free to shoot down any of my assumptions because I'd hate to make an ass of you. It's definitely I would assume it's a more expensive bag than like a cheap diaper bag that you could get from Target or something like that. So it's going to have that specificity, and then it's also it's going to pertain to people in regards to people that like tech and people that are a little bit more forward thinking, and they're looking for digital solutions to ease pains in their day-to-day life. So I'm curious. You said that you've conducted a market research over the last year. Who did you focus on? Are you focused on moms? Are you focused on tech people? Are you focused on techie moms? Are you focused on mom tech? I'm just curious how you chose your sample size, who you see as your kind of first big vertical, and what you did to capture their point of view about this theoretical product.
Sure. Great question. So starting off with respect to the market survey, we certainly focused in on moms, and with any startup company, you try to get basically anybody that would come into the door and will talk to you about your product. But as we've grown and gotten a bit more sophisticated, we certainly are focusing in on moms. Generally, we like to call them the millennial, slightly older, maybe slightly older than millennial folks that are out there buying the latest Samsung phone or iPhone, and that means something to them. We think that this is the next kind of logical step for folks in an already digital world. We just think that everything is going to become some sort of interactive version of it. So we're focusing in on moms, and we think that is our vertical moms, and that pretty much under 40, maybe up to 45 category that have phones. Our price point, as you mentioned, is a little bit more expensive. We are we're doing pre-orders on Indiegogo right now for about $150. The retail price will be $199. So not necessarily, at least not as we start off in the target market, but in the diaper bag market, not very expensive. There are a number of bags that are well over our price point that has no concept of tech or usefulness or anything like that.
So do you see your big? So you guys are going to manufacture a bag, and it's going to be a diaper bag. But I'm sure as a lawyer with the point of view that you have, you're thinking about different verticals and licensure in terms of it. Right. I mean, I would look at this and I would say like I love my bag. It's cool. More specifically, how do I get how do I get Fendi to add it to their diaper bag, or how do I get any of these big kind of couture brands that are mom brands, or that are whatever, like how about a Canon camera bag? Like who's got more on the line to lose? Like I've definitely been on the bad side of not having a diaper before, but that was way more dealable than when I left a light or a battery for a camera home for a pixelated job, and somebody had to drive out to me to bring it out. So I'm just curious about what your point of view is in terms of licensing your intellectual property.
Well, you're right there, Patrick. That's exactly right. So we see our bag campaign now, our early on sales, as just publicity for licensing our technology to, as you mentioned, not only diaper bag companies such as your Fendi's or your Coaches or whoever it may be, but and we do think that there's a significant competitive advantage to those companies for bringing in Baggio, if you guys are listening. But also we see almost any container, such as your camera bag, as you mentioned, or luggage, we think is a big deal. Actually, in our market survey, the next big market that we see and we will seek to enter is book bags. A lot of folks have mentioned that they would love to have a version of this in a book bag where adults are carrying computers and or iPads and chargers and things like that for getting that. Or even for kids, where you can have some kind of watered-down version of Baggio where you don't have the companion smartphone app, but just some sort of indicator on the bag itself to, at a certain time, just kind of figure out what's in the bag. As little Johnny or little Jenny is leaving school, just figure out whether or not he or she has, scarves or gloves or pencils or rulers. So you're exactly right. We see this as ultimately not trying to reinvent the wheel and compete with all the bag manufacturers or companion manufacturers in the world, but see how we can strategically partner with these companies.
Sure.
And get the technology in their bag. And we see it as a win-win because we think that it will offer a unique competitive advantage to those companies, as well as obviously it would be beneficial to Baggio to grow the brand.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, man. That's all I got. I know what you whether you want to plug or not, you should definitely tell everybody real quick how to find the project on Indiegogo, time of the fundraising project and what they can do to help out.
Sure. Thanks again. Please, we are humbly asking for support of a local Baltimore company, and you can find us on Indiegogo. That's Indiegogo.com, INDIEGOGO.com, and you can just search for Baggio. That's BAGGIO. Again, you can pre-order the bag, or you can just support, offer any contribution at all, and we will certainly appreciate anything. And we are asking everyone. We really would like our campaign to go viral. We think that this is a great product and will really not only serve to help Baggio, but also put Baltimore on the map as a great tech product location, destination. So we're really excited about that. Also, you guys can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and that is at Go Baggio. That's GOBAGGIO. But if you go there, we're just going to send you back to Indiegogo because, again, we are seeking contributions. So please look us up on Indiegogo and search for Baggio. And any contribution that you guys can make, and please share with as many friends as possible and encourage them to contribute to this great local company as well.
All right, you heard it, people. Head over to Indiegogo and search for Baggio. Go learn a little bit more about their product, and if it's something that feels like the right fit for you, you should definitely consider supporting their efforts. Cory, it's been wonderful to speak with you. I'm sorry that we were not able to include Tonika on this interview. However, I think that it would be a really great idea to have her back on at the conclusion of the fundraising project, and she can give us her version of it and then also bring us up to date on how things are working out for you. So please mention that to her. And aside from that, thank you for being a guest today. Guys, if you have not yet, I need for you to hit the subscribe button on your podcast player of choice. Whether you're listening through the iTunes podcast player, or you're listening on Stitcher Radio, or you're listening on SoundCloud, or you're hanging out with us on YouTube, or you're hanging out with us on Vimeo, or hopefully soon you'll be seeing this on Spotify or Apple Music, just hit the subscribe button. If you're trying to do me one more high five, head over to iTunes and leave me a quick review with 5 stars attached, nothing less. If you need to leave less, just don't leave one. I know that seems a little bit firm, but whatever. I'm trying to be positive here. This is Patrick Reif for the Startup Soirée podcast. Until next time, peace.